Hello, everyone. My name is Alisha Lee.
And I'm Doug Oliver.
And thank you for tuning in to the Alisha Lee and Doug Oliver Celebrity Spotlight on Cablevision TV.
Now, today we got a very, very special guest. I call her my first female to rap because at one point I was a little prejudiced towards female rappers. I just didn't think they had it. But when I heard this young lady rap, I said they got it. Straight out of Newark, New Jersey, I want to welcome Digga to the set.
Hello.
Okay, Rob, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you for
Still
having
looking
me.
fine as ever.
Thank you.
What you got? What you taking, vitamins or something?
No, I'm just a free spirit. Yeah. Good genes.
Good genes. Okay. Got your mama's genes.
Daddy. Well, I ain't knocking moms, but dad was sharp.
Oh, wow.
All right. Now, I already told me you was from Newark, New Jersey.
Brick City, born and raised.
Born and raised in Newark?
Yep. The Vailsburg section.
The Vailsburg.
Okay. Now, you didn't start off with no flavor unit or anything like that, right?
I did, actually.
You did?
Flavor unit, I was never technically a member of the Flavor Unit, but that was like the first crew that I pitched my demo to, and I just kind of latched on to them.
So yeah, tell us about how you got started.
First before you go there, Flavor Unit was Queen Latifah's management and production company, right?
Well, at that time, she was an artist, and Shakim, who's her manager and business partner now, he, I guess, ran the day-to-day operations, but Latifah was the artist leading the charge, and then they went on to discover Naughty by Nature and Lakim, Apache. So they already had like their crew going on, but I think Latifah was the one that catapulted the most.
Now, with that said, I just saw something on what was that, VH1?
VH1 Hip Hop Honors.
Hip Hop Honors. Now, tell me about that.
You was on it, right?
I was.
That was
outstanding. I was part of Queen Latifah's tribute. Now, I was seeing commercials for that, and I'm like, I know I better get a phone call for this. And no sooner than I said that, not even 24 hours went by.
How was it?
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was really nice to reconnect with, so many of my female peers that I haven't seen or spoken to in years, and that was great because I got to exchange numbers with folks lost touch with, and now we just like the best of friends.
Very nice.
Well, I've always had good relations with the females. There's never been any falling out with me and any other female. So that was a nice reconnection for us.
Everybody was there. I mean, everybody. I sat there and watched the whole thing.
There's a couple that were MIA. I believe they even went public after the fact. But I mean, for the most part, it was.
There were some people that were upset that they didn't come.
Right. That.
So yeah, that was a little controversy.
I don't know. I don't know who selected who. I know the production reached out to me. And they actually asked me if I could help them get in touch with Mia X. And Mia X is a very good friend of mine. So I called her like, girl, be expecting a call from VH1. So it was.
She's still in the local area?
It was no. Mia X, she's in New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay, all right. Now Sweet Tea was there too, right?
Sweet Tea was there.
She's still or she in Florida?
I'm not sure where Sweet Tea is based. I would assume she was from New York, but I don't know where she's at present day.
Okay. Now let's talk about Flip Mode.
Flip Mode Squad.
Yeah.
That was the crew that put me out. Q-Tip actually is the one that discovered me and signed me and gave me my record deal. But about a year into my situation with Tip, I ended up joining Flip Mode Squad because Tip, they were kind of going through some things at that time. Tribe Called Quest was breaking up. There was just a lot of internal distress going on. So, and I was one of those artists that just didn't care what was going on in your life. Like I gotta get mine. So I think it was to our mutual benefit that he put me on with Busta, and I was able to keep my deal because I was already signed to Elektra Records.
Okay. How was it working with Busta?
Busta's cool. He's a lot more serious than Everybody always asks me like, is he crazy, wild clown, as he is in the videos? No. He's very, very serious, very focused, especially, you know, when it comes time to being in the studio and stuff, which is, I say, where we spent like 95% of our time was we did studio 7 days a week for the entire duration of my flip mode tenure.
Now, what's Rah Digga like? I mean, let the fans know, what is Rah Digga?
Rah
Does she have
Digga?
children? Is she married?
I have one daughter. I have one daughter that's in her second year of college. She has 3 older brothers from her father, and they're like my son. So, one of them is actually a rapper as well. He's a part of a group called New Jersey Rebels. So,
Nice.
I like he just performed at the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, so I like to support. I like when the younger artists, you know, kind of gravitate to the, you know, to the golden era. It's like, yes, hip hop is alive.
Right.
So that's, you know, that's fun. I have my hands full. I'm teaching now. I'm actually teaching hip hop education for the city of Newark, and I'm actually about to start expanding in the
What
surrounding.
are you teaching them? Like,
I'm taking, well, I'm not teaching them how to rap, because that's what I'd like. It's not, you know, it's not to produce a whole bunch of rappers. Like, the purpose is just to kind of teach them the history and, you know, some of the moral and ethical values that hip hop culture was designed, you know, on, because that's, you know, it's pretty much what molded me. And I think a lot of who I am comes from the lessons that I learned from hip hop, and I just feel like in present day the kids aren't receiving those same messages, because they're speaking a whole nother language. Their values are different now. So I put this course together, and I take them through the decades from start to finish. Like it's really history lessons, and then I take them on different trips and just expose them to different things.
Can I ask you a honest question, just to take it back and reflect back for a second, because hip hop, rap, MC, whatever they want to call it, is definitely a male-dominated industry. How easy or difficult was it for Rah Digga to get herself established?
I don't think it was that difficult for me, especially the way, you know, my particular style of rhyme is very aggressive. I never worried about fitting in with the males or keeping up with the males. I think they had to worry about keeping up with me. So never.
Wait a minute. With that said, then, are you an MC or a rapper?
I'm an MC.
You're an MC, okay.
And your definition of MCing is, because everybody have a different definition. Yours is?
My definition of an MC is a person that focuses on lyricism. I'm really, you know, I'm really into the particulars of the rhyme patterns and the rhyme schemes and punchlines and metaphors, and I don't just want the 2 end bars to rhyme. I want to make 4 rhymes. I want double, triple entendres. I need iambic pentameters. Like, the actual technique of writing the lyrics is something that an MC focuses on, where
master of ceremony.
That's right. Where I feel, you know, that's the difference between being an MC and being a rapper. Rappers are just kind of concerned with, like, you know, as long as it feels good, as long as people can dance to it.
You know what's so funny? Most of the older, you know, rappers from back a little bit say they MCs. The newer rappers say they rappers. You know, they say they rappers, so it's kind of become a punchline for us here now. Well, we interview different people.
I think the focus has been so far removed from the actual lyrics in a song that this generation doesn't really, you know, that's like the furthest thing from their mind, how good the lyrics are. Like, I think most of the artists nowadays, I do, you know, that's not to say just because, you know, you're not an MC, you're a rapper, doesn't mean you're not an artist, because, you know, every artist is different within their own scope. So, you know, I won't say that you're not an artist. You may not be an MC, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not an artist. So I'm referred to them as artists. Younger artists, they have a tendency now to follow the track. I feel like in today's times, the music is more musical, and just, you know, everything is more driven by the beat and the hook and the, you know, the jingle of it, whereas we just loop something up and just spit, you know, like we rap to the same break beat for 5, 6, 7 minutes long, and it was just about bars, but you know, how clever are your rhymes, and we you know, we come from a different time. We read books, we read encyclopedias, you know, we had to learn the Dewey Decimal System to go into the library. Like these kids nowadays, they just hit a button, Google. So the attention span is different, the brain activity is different. It's deeper than just.
I just learned that text last week.
Yeah, I mean it's deep. I mean, when you think about like the learning process, why so many kids now have ADD is because they don't understand patience and research. Everything is just, you know, right there at their fingertips.
Encyclopedias and everything else.
Right, almanac. When last time a kid had to like actually look in a dictionary for something?
Yeah. How did you come up with the name Rod Digga?
Once upon a time, I was signed to a group called Das Effects, and my nickname was Rod Diggity. Das Effects, by the way, was the crew that I gravitated to after Flavor Unit early on. And like my friends at home nicknamed me Rod Diggity because they were the bum stickity. And then once I, you know, moved ahead in life, it was like, okay, it's time to lose the iggity. The iggity style is no more. We're just gonna call it Digga. I've been saying I'm gonna come up with an acronym for DIGGA, but 2016, I still haven't came up with one. Devastating illest girl out.
So let me ask you now, if you're right in the middle, like as generation of, you know, hip hop, R&B.
I agree. Yeah, it's funny you should say that too.
Now, if you had a opportunity to work with a rapper from back then in the 80s, and then one in the future, who would they be?
Back in the day. Now it depends on what you call back in the day. Now, because I was gonna say Nas is technically before me, but I wouldn't consider him back in the day. But he is, you know, early 90s. I love Nas is my favorite MC of all time. So I would go to my grave wanting to collaborate with him. I worshiped as a child. I worshiped the Juice Crew. So anybody from the Juice Crew works for me. But then KRS-One, my three. I say the three MCs that created Rod Digga, like if they gave birth to an MC, would be Kool G Rap, Rakim, and KRS-One. Like all of their styles are fused together is like how I.
That's a hot style.
You know how I be Kool G Rap. I learned how to punchline from Kool G Rap. So I've actually worked with I've indirectly worked with Kool G Rap. Like we were placed on a song together, but we weren't physically in the studio doing it. But Kool G Rap has always been old school favorite of mine. Artists today, I love Cole. I love J. Cole. I wouldn't mind collaborating with Drake though. You know, say what you want about Drake. I find him a very interesting artist because he really does come from the boom bap, especially if you listen to his Young Money work. He definitely is from that world. But you know, he's doing what he's doing now to sustain his marketability. But I would love to collaborate with boom bap Drake.
And let me piggyback off Doug's question. Reflect that to females. Artists.
To female artists, I actually work with a lot of I've worked with a lot of the young up and coming artists. I've collaborated several times with Rhapsody. I've collaborated with Nitty Scott. I love 3D Nati. Dreezy, young female out of Chicago. I've had my sights on her for a while, and we've actually spoken a bit, but she's very, very dope female, aggressive. I find myself listening to a lot of the Chicago kids. Like, they don't really speak the same language that I speak, but I feel their energy. Like, to me, Chicago is giving me what New York used to give me, what I used to get from Mobb Deep and MOP and you know, the more hardcore artists. I'm getting that from Chicago more than New York. Like New York is just not doing it for me anymore. as far as like throwback females, MC Light I've already collaborated with, but she's like the mother of everything to me. Like, I feel like I'm a direct descendant of her. Actually, she's not the mother. Roxanne Shante is the mother. That's the queen mother.
Are they doing a movie on her right now?
Yes, they are. I just read that Nia Long is supposed to play her.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. I do see the similarities aesthetically,
the eyes.
But I would prefer to see someone younger play. I mean, just because like Roxanne was so impactful when she was like 15, 16.
You asking from a man's point of view, Nia Long.
I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. Nia Long is a looker. Hey, we're gonna enjoy Nia Long, well into her 60s, 70s. Look, I'm a woman, and I don't mind Nia Long and playing anything, and she's a phenomenal actress. But just the reason why I say that is because when Roxanne really like burst on the scene like that, she was a 15, 16-year-old girl. Like, that's a different energy than, a 40 plus actress playing that. Like, I want to see that young tenacity. I mean, I think it's going to be, a challenge for Nia, but she's a
great actress.
Yeah, I was about to say she's skilled in her own right. I'm pretty sure she'll rise to the occasion.
Let me ask you a question. With all the women that's out there, well, not all, some, we'll say some women tend to degrade themselves. They change their body image. They try to have to dress a little certain kind of way just to sell records, albums. What do you think about that?
I think...
You think that that's a good way of getting themselves out there? I mean, since you're teaching the younger people.
We can't deny that sex sells. It definitely works. I mean, Lil' Kim pretty much changed the whole prototype for female rap, and it's really been that way ever since. And we're going back to 95. I don't think you have to do that. I didn't do that. Of course, I every now and then I showed some cleavage. I showed some leg or something, but I don't think it's a prerequisite to being a successful female. I think it really just boils down to what you're here for. I mean, everybody's not here to preserve the culture and the legacy. Like, some people just want their money. Some people just want their record deal. So you can't really look at those people and say, well, why don't you,
change your image a little bit?
Right. It's like they're doing what they came to do. Whereas you have some females that are like, under no circumstances am I degrading myself. I'm 3/4 of cloth. I'm, I'm here for for the lyricism aspect. Now, with having said that, you have to understand that's a harder road. It definitely takes skill and discipline and patience. It might take a little longer for the pendulum to swing your way, but I think it really just boils down to like knowledge of self and what you're here for.
Self-respect is big with you.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I got into the business to prove that like I can rap better than guys, and with that mindset, how I dress, how I did my hair, like things like that really were secondary to me. That was the grooming process that came after the fact. But for me, it's always been about the bars. And I think the more females that really like understand that and live that, they'll find themselves in a better place later on in their careers. Like now, fast forward to today's time, like I can still go out and rock shows in my Converse, and nobody's caring. Nobody's really caring what I'm wearing, and they're just waiting to get to the freestyle part. They waiting to get they're ready to hear some new stuff. Where I feel like a lot of females that followed that MO are kind of like struggling now with like image, like how am I supposed to look in my 40s like I did in my 20s, and I think. When you make that the priority and the focus, you have a harder way to go later in life.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you this. Back in them days with Flip Mode, Buster was hot. So I know he kind of expanded your world in a lot of other ways.
No, absolutely.
So I want to know, like, where's Rod Digga been? Where's she been? Like,
Where's Rod Digga been?
yeah.
I've been a little everywhere. I actually moved to the country for a little while.
What part of the country? What
The
do you guys-
Poconos. Look, the Poconos is the country to me.
Okay.
I bought a house out in PA and got a gun permit. Went a little gun crazy for a minute.
Did you?
What?
Yeah,
So you know how
I
to
did.
shoot, huh?
I do.
Okay.
You went honey?
Yeah, I did. And we ate our game.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I don't just hunt
That
for the
deer is
sport.
tough meat, ain't it?
No, it's very tender.
It's tough to me.
No.
Maybe I got bad
You
teeth.
know, you have to have it cooked properly, and and it has to be taxidermed, and it can't just be has to be properly prepared. See, I learned this is all the stuff I learned in the country. Hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So
That's
no,
true.
I spent a lot of time out, not too much time, about 4 or 5 years. I came back to Newark. Actually, I was in California. I was even in California prior to that. I did a lot of back and forth in California. I was trying to get myself some more roles. I didn't get anything else after 13 goes.
Wow.
I tried.
Lucky you.
I was auditioning. I was trying.
Lucky you.
I'm trying. I want to get on a series now. I want to get on Walking Dead. I love.
Really?
Yes, it's
Walking
just shooting.
Dead.
That's you
Shooting
like that?
zombies and I'm a zombie enthusiast, like
Wow.
survivor woman stuff. Yeah, I like that type of stuff.
That's the new word coming out of it.
That's the type of stuff that floats my boat. Well, trust me, hey, if there is a zombie apocalypse among us, you want to be on my team.
I'm going to be on your team.
I'm about to say, come find me.
Oh, I'm going to look for you.
Coming straight to you.
We are getting to the promised land.
Newark's going to hold it down anyway, so Newark is
lot
a
of
city
criminal-
you know
Newark is
what?
going to hold it
A
down.
lot of zombies walking around.
I'm
out
about
here.
to say, you know what? I can't really speak for all the North because these fools, you got these young folks. They just getting their hands on guns, but they not properly training.
Yeah.
They're not licensed to carry. They just being thug with
Right.
it. Like there's still a responsibility that comes with carrying firearms and
Right.
stuff. Like I'm not one of those guns should be banned people, but I do think there has to be a stricter,
Gun laws.
there definitely
Right.
needs to be stricter gun laws and who's able to purchase them. And you should be taught. You should go to the range. You have to be responsible. It's without that you have things like little kids getting hold of guns and shooting each other and stuff like that. So
Well, we are about to.
Wait a minute.
Soon.
First, before we do that, though,
Yeah,
Rod, we want the audience to hear a little something.
that's what we're about to say. We're about to. Yeah, we want to hear you go
We want to hear a
acapella.
little
Yeah.
something.
okay.
Yeah, are you
Okay.
ready? You're gonna go
ready.
acapella on us,
I'm
right?
always ready. I'm gonna go a cappella for you.
Okay,
all
we're
right.
ready for you.
You sure you want me to do the beatbox? 'Cause, I
You
used
got a
to
beatbox?
I used to do it back in my
Yeah,
days.
do a little
No,
beatbox.
no.
I can do it.
No. How about remember the old school
Oh
lunch
yeah.
table?
That's you go back, bro.
Nah, busted. I got one.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be right back, and we're
take
gonna
it to a
come
break.
right back to Rod Digga. All right.
Is that what I'm looking like? Look at my knees.
Somewhere around here, that'd be good. Yep, and you can keep move up a little bit, but not too far, then I won't get your feet.
Okay.
You can move around.
Okay,
Unless
I
it's
got
in
you.
that area somewhere.
Yo, yo. Ooh, look at them knees.
Yeah, good girl. Cute with the sneakers and the top to match. I like that.
I tried it.
All right. You gonna put some music on for me?
Because of my,
Go ahead.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
when you know you can.
I was just thinking. You know what, call guys?
Yeah.
Maybe
Mike, come here for a minute. She do have.
I didn't think about that.
Okay, you go.
1 2 1 2. Digga in the building. And they go a little something like this. I don't know how to begin, how to tell you how to win, but I do know it's gonna come down to them rhymes in the end. Some pursued other ventures, some lost they step. We done came a long way from the days of salt and pep. They told me sex sells. I took the red pill. I chose to stay street, let culture prevail. I agreed to the weave and coined the ponytail. Girls nipping and tucking. I said, what the hell? I ain't signed up for that, but to each they own. Said it's easier to market, easier to clone, easier to brainwash little girls at home. Easy for the machines to set the tone now. Some say it's high class, some say it's hoochie. All up in the mags, greased up in a two-piece. First comes the nip slip, then comes the new leaks, then comes the sex tape. If I'm lying, sue me. I ain't need nothing but a pen and some loose leaf. Speakers on blast, whipping round in that two-seat. Jumping out, bam, showtime, just me and the band. Mike checking in my B-girl stance. No cocaine, fame is a hell of a drug. How far you gonna go trying to get that buzz? How many you gonna smash trying to get that plug? In the future, are you still gonna get that love? Ladies, hashtag lyrics matter. Bars over everything.
All right, welcome back. Alicia Lee, Doug Oliver, Celebrity Spotlight. That was hot. We went Rod Digga.
Thank you.
That was great.
I apologize for not having clean songs available for you guys. So we just going acapella all day.
It's okay. That was okay.
That's actually good.
Now, what's in the future for Rod Digga?
The future for me is definitely more music. I mean, I'm doing music at my leisure at this juncture. Like people come up to me every day. Rod, the game needs you. When you gonna get back in the game? I'm not interested in getting back in the game, but I will. Being the artist that I am, because I love making music, I will continue to make music. I will release it independently. I mean, don't get me wrong now. If Kanye or Jay-Z or somebody, want to knock on the door and come with a multi-million-dollar record deal, I might have to reconsider my stance. But, I mean, I'm just having fun with it. I'm definitely, getting the gratification from teaching young persons the culture of hip hop. And as I said, it's not to turn everyone into rappers. It's just to really give them a understanding of where the culture comes from and why it was created and how it was created, and just paying homage to the pioneers and just kind of getting that respect level up, because I think what's one of the biggest disconnects between the older generation artists and the newer generation artists is just really not knowing the history. And I find that when they learn it and they see how things have progressed or regressed, depending on who you're asking. When I show them a YouTube clip of a ITF championship or a DMC championship where you've got the beat junkies and the executioners lining up turntables and they're seeing actual turntablers going to work, they understand why someone who's punching keys or someone who's pulling out a laptop, why someone would say, oh, that's not a real DJ. It's like they need to understand where, how it started, so they can understand like why a lot of the pioneers feel how they feel. And when they get that understanding, it's like, okay, I get it now. Y'all were rapping. What we're doing is just kind of so it's like they get an understanding of why we feel how we feel, and really just the messages that are missing. That that's something that I didn't really pay attention to, I guess, when I was my younger rapping self. Now now that I'm older and I'm actually working with kids, I'm really seeing the firsthand how much music impacts. And I mean, it impacted me, but it impacted me for the better. I feel like it taught me to really be about community and activism, and nowadays I fear that everything is just kind of drugs, money, it's kind of like Woodstock all over again, and they don't really have those KRS ones yelling at them to you must learn, they don't. Well, they're not on the main stage, if you will. So I like to focus on the teaching.
You're talking about a lot. You talk a lot about the teaching part of it. What do you think about today's actually music, the lyrics?
They're horrible.
The Fetty Waps, the trap music.
It's horrible.
Why do you think it's horrible? Because back in the day when we were growing up, we probably thought the opposite. So why do you think it's horrible?
I think it's horrible because there's no science behind the madness. Like we had our, we had our wayward artists. I mean, I'm not saying that hip hop was always righteous. We had Luke. We had, we had our, we had our guilty pleasures in music, but we also, I don't think that the artists today are as, I guess as reachable as artists before. Like you would see those artists, like these artists now, like you're just kind of hearing what they're saying. Like they're not really like in the community, like, okay, seriously, but you know, you really could get like 35 to life. You know, like we kind of still, it was almost like watching a Cosby kids. You had or Fat Albert and the gang. Like there was still like a moral of the story at the end of the day. Like as you know, as rebellious as Public Enemy was, it was like there was still a message, and I think because there's such an absence of like caring about the lyrics, they're, you know, inadvertently they're not caring about the message, and the message that the kids are taking away now is, okay, so getting a job is a waste of time. I should be a stripper. Take every pill possible. You know, Xan is the drug of choice. Molly is the drug of choice. Shoot them. I'm about to say kill anybody you're mad at. You know, this is what people are taking away from music because there's not enough balance. Like we had our bad rap, but we had our good rap, and because that balance is completely obsolete now, all they're hearing is the bad, and these kids are really going out and acting what they're hearing. And I know this because I'm working with them, so you know, I'm seeing the damage firsthand. I'm hearing them talk, and you know, talk about how it's all about money. It's like nowadays you can't even go in the club and buy a drink or you're considered broke. It's like you have to buy the bar out. You have to buy bottles, and they're putting these ideas in the young person's heads now, where things like getting a job for $9-10 an hour is not suitable enough for them anymore.
Or popping pills, like you said, is okay.
Yeah, so it's not enough balance in the positive music, and that's not a coincidence. It was purposely designed to be that way.
And what about the constant uses of profanity, calling the women the B words and everything like that?
That's something, and it's funny, me being a female artist, that's something that never really bothered me.
Really?
It never bothered me. I just, that was always one of those things I just looked at like, don't apply to me. Because I feel like the women that men are referring to in those instances, I just didn't feel like I was one of those women. And that might have been, my younger, naive self thinking, but when they're calling chicks thoughts, and I just felt like that's not me. They're not talking about me, because I'm not tricking for earrings, bamboo earrings. I just did not think it applied to me.
You know what I never understood about that though? I can hear other women call each other that B word, and it's a joke, and they laugh, but then when a man says it, it's a insult. It's they're ready to crucify him. Why is that though?
I think, some people are just more sensitive than others, and rightfully so. Like I said, that was always one of those issues that never really bothered me as much. I guess because I always considered myself, more of a man when it came to rapping. So I just, I never really looked at that as offensive. I just feel like words are words. Yeah, it's like I feel like you give more power to the problem by
paying attention to it.
Right, paying attention to it. Exactly. That's that was kind of like my stance.
Now, I even hear it among men. We don't like to be called that N-word, but we can call each other that all day.
We call it to each other all day long.
And sing in songs.
It's like we can say it to each other all day long, but you better not call us that. And rightfully so. Again, it's like the same thing. It's like I don't care if another chick calls me that, or I don't care if a dude says it in a song, but but you can't address me like that.
And Doug brings up a good point, because there are a lot of artists out there that are protesting the N-word in music. Females protesting the B-word in music and everything. So with you educating the young, what would you suggest to them?
I mean, I think it's something I always felt like profanity is really just a replacement for not, if you think a little bit harder, you can find a better substitute than a curse. Like a curse is always like a last minute filling. Curse words, profanity in rap is pretty much like fillers, because if you think long and hard enough, you can come up with something much clever. I'm not, I'm not mad at people that protest, but I'm not mad either way. It's just one of those things. I don't care.
Really care. Okay.
I just feel like there are way bigger fish to fry than, like those things are, to me, really, minute in the grand scheme of problems. Like there are bigger problems in music lyrics than like those words. Like I'd rather hear the N word than Xannies. It's like I have more problems with people introducing things to young minds that they shouldn't be knowing about than if they use the N word or the B word.
Okay. Now, I know you was with Flavor Unit, you were Daz Effect, Flip Mode. Now I'm trying to think in my head, what's some of the duets you did with some of these artists? I'm just trying to catch up myself. Well,
Daz Effect, I didn't really record any music with Daz Effects. That was early in my career. Same with Flavor Unit. With Flavor Unit, I had a partner by the name of Chia. We would call Twice the Flavor. We had a real poppin' demo back then, but nothing that was ever commercially released. I think there's something on an Echo mixtape. Remember Echo back in the day? I think there's something like on a mixtape, on a cassette tape. I'd say more recent than that, though. I mean, everybody, can hear any number of collaborations I've done with Busta Rhymes, Flip Mode. I've collaborated with a lot of artists. The second album that was supposed to drop following Dirty Harriet, Everything Is a Story, had a lot of collaborations that didn't get to see the light of day. I collaborated with Fabulous. I collaborated with Mobb Deep. I had Pink on the album. I had MC Lyte on the album.
And they shelved that?
Joe Button.
What?
Yeah, I actually kind of put it out there through through the black market over the years, but it was never like commercially released from the label.
Wow, man, they shelved something like that, huh?
Well, unfortunately I was part of a whole. There was a bigger issue going on. It was with Flip Mode overall. It was really like Busta versus the label, and Flip Mode just kind of became casualties of war.
Yeah. Oh boy. So what's coming up next for Ross? You got any acting?
Any events?
Well, I'm actually performing down in Virginia Beach this weekend. I do a lot of shows. I do a lot of hostings, a lot of guest speakings, a lot of panel. I was part of a global talent lecture circuit many years ago. I do a lot of motivational speaking. People just love Digga.
You were just in Middletown.
Talk to the kids.
Not too far.
I was.
Not too long ago.
I've done like 3 festivals right here. I did the Newark Riverfront Festival. I did the East Orange Mac Festival. I'll probably be doing the Lincoln Park Festival. I did Newark.
That's house music, isn't it? Lincoln Park. That's when.
Well, it's a 3-day thing. They do a house day, they do a hip hop day, and they do like an R&B day. Yeah, they have to. Just keep those demographics separated, please. I did the Newark 350th anniversary festival, so I do a lot of gigs, a lot of spot dates.
Stay busy, huh?
I do.
That's good. I
do.
Now, this thing that you, I ain't gonna say thing, this program that you're involved with, is that the Board of Education for Newark? You're doing that with?
No, it's not Board of Education. This is a workshop that I completely created myself. But what is happening now is I'm partnering with other organizations. I just recently partnered with iArts Media Institute, and they're actually forming a school which will be at the Spruce Street, for the Newark residents that are watching the what is it, the boxing gym. I think it's right there on Spruce Street. Forgive me, the name is escaping me, but that's where the school will be held, and it's actually like my workshop. There's like dozens of workshops, and we're just kind of coming together and creating a school out of it. Got some folks out in the burbs, out in Bergen County, want a piece of the hip hop pie. I mean, we are magical people.
Nice.
They love us. They all want a piece of us. So I'll be conducting some workshops out at the Bergen Pack as well. I'm actually in talks right now with the mayor of East Orange to get some workshops set up in East Orange, because it is a Newark-based workshop. Like, this was something I created to get my babies off the street in my hometown. But then what happened was you started having like the kids graduating with honors. Like, well, why is this only going to the derelict kid? I thought I was getting the kids off the streets, off the porches in the corners. So then you got the good kids like, well, can I live? Like, I want to go to High 97 and meet Ebro. So I said, okay. So now, I have it to where I do it for, I won't say good kids and bad kids. I have it for focused kids. I have it for non-focused kids. I have it for, suburban kids, inner city. Everybody. I mean, anyone who's interested in learning the roots and culture of hip hop. I think it should be mandatory for inner city children. I say minority children, because a big part of it is for the younger generation. It's black and Latino history for them. So I think they don't realize how much hip hop is influencing everything they do. I mean, I remember being a child watching Barney Rubble on the Fruity Pebbles commercial with the Run DMC fedora and and the Dookie roll, rapping about and these are things that I show them in my workshops. Like, you see how much society takes from hip hop, and but everyone wants to disregard it. If there's a shooting, or if there's a negative element, people are ready to sweep it under the rug. But no, please understand how this world is using your culture. Like, this is something that you need to understand and know.
Now, I want you to take a look in that camera, and I want you to tell everybody two important messages.
Okay.
Especially for your city of Newark.
Okay.
How can they go about trying to support what you're doing or joining what you're doing for their kids, and how they can follow Rah Digga on whatever she's doing? Because you seem like you're doing a lot of positive things. I think people need to know. So you think you can give them some information that they can follow Rah Digga on?
Absolutely. You can follow Rah Digga. All my social media feed outlets are The Real Rah Digga. So you can follow me on Instagram at The Real Rah Digga on Instagram, The Real Rah Digga on Twitter, The Real Rah Digga on Facebook, The Real Rah Digga on Tumblr. If you're interested in listening to Rah Digga spit some bars in 2016, I have a SoundCloud page, Rah Digga Music. It's also available on iTunes, Amazon, all of the digital outlets. And as far as my workshops, you can follow Lyrics Matter LLC on Instagram and also on Twitter. The email address is lyricsdomatter@gmail. So that's the whole movement. Nice. Hashtag Lyrics Matter. And I was Lyrics Matter before Black Lives Matter, so by no means am I minimalizing that movement. I just want to put that.
What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, because we actually... Yeah,
on Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter, because we're about to actually get into the Real Rah Digga music one more time, because we're about to end the show real soon. So just tell us, what is your take about Black Lives Matter real fast?
I think it's a very important movement. I'm pretty disgusted with how the media is trying to, make all of these connections between terrorism and Black Lives Matter. I just feel like, once again, it's just another way of undermining something positive that people of color are trying to do, and it's also a nice little mechanism that they're using to deflect from the real problem, which is we are tired of officers and people of power, you know, abusing us, and it eventually you know, something's gonna happen. And you know, we unfortunately we're seeing things happening. You know, these aren't the repercussions that we want, but there's only so far you can, you know, you can poke and pry. You know, there's only so much poking and prodding you can do before people start to fight back. And this is how the Black Panthers were formed. This is how, you know, this is how these organizations were formed.
We need to finish this conversation probably on the next show.
Wow. Yeah, I was about to say, I can go on. My parents were Panthers, so I'm a Panther baby.
Why don't you take us out with a few bars?
Yes. It's all on you.
Just whatever you want to. Take us out with a few bars.
And you're watching Alisha Lee and Doug Oliver Celebrity Spotlight. My Digga is going to take us out.
Check it. Leader of the resistance. And it's only for the thick skin, running around the Chitland circuit with my bricks men. When they come to spitting, got that 6 cents, and I don't think they know the difference. And I'm getting at my wits end, and then that real rap kicked in, and they wonder how it missed them. I'm Angela Davis, I ain't shaking my buns. I'm yelling power to the people and waving them guns. I be pumping that fist, I ain't running from this. It ain't too many of them broads got the stomach for this. They worry about they stylists, worry about your talents. Build up your valence, expanding your palettes. Better find you a balance so that homecoming won't be as turned up as Howard's. Call me Angela Davis, in my all black floating through the matrix. They like, Digga, can you save us? When did lyricism escape us? You one of the few that kept it raw through the ages. You about the culture even more than the papers. And I ain't have to do that fake ish. I love my black features. I ain't trying to get no facelifts. I'm Angela Davis, no perm. Mama had that straightening comb on slow burn. They don't know about me, well they gon' learn. They gon' learn how I had the infallible Lauryn Hill lighting roaches on the mic. Told Kim we read meth, we not doing ladies night. Told Rage we success, we gon' be Nas and Jay. And to do us with Bus, still his best to this day.
All right. So listen, we want to thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure.